Now back in 2011, you couldn't escape bathrooms like this. All white everything, a hint of pale marble, and glass accessories lined up like they were in a showroom. Everything was aggressively pristine. It was clean, it was modern, and it was the look that everyone wanted. And I think we can all collectively agree that this was the peak of sophistication. But fast forward to now, that same aesthetic, it's starting to become a little tired and a little too sterile. So that's what we're uncovering today, as well as other bathroom design trends that I think are shaping 2026 and beyond. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Jacqueline, I'm an interior designer, and here we talk about interior design, home decor, if you hadn't already guessed, art, and even architecture. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a clean space as much as the next person, but somewhere along the line, minimal turned into devoid of personality, and bathrooms became less spa-like and more showroom display. And I think collectively as a society, we're really moving away from this aesthetic. I just want to make it clear that I actually like the look of these bathroom interiors. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them in terms of style. But what I'm trying to highlight is that they're bordering on almost outdated. If you've been here for a while, then you'll know I'm not here to tell you to follow trends. That's not what I'm here to do. If you like something, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just simply highlighting trends I'm seeing more often as a designer. So a trends forecast, if you will. So with all that being said, why are we craving bathrooms to feel more layered and significantly less like we're about to be wheeled into surgery? This shift didn't just appear overnight. Bathroom design has quietly been building up to this point for decades. So in order to understand the now, we need to take a look at the before. Let's roll the timeline. In my opinion, in the 1970s, bathrooms had zero interest in being subtle. Avocado green, mustard yellow, burnt orange. You know what? Sure, why not? Colours were in the bathroom suite. Tiles climbed halfway up the wall and everything felt very committed. There was personality and there was no fear of clashing. It reflected a time where interiors were becoming more expressive, more individual, less about tradition and more about experimentation. Carpeted bathroom, anyone? Then the 80s came, and suddenly we've got shine, we've got gloss, and of course, drama. Bathrooms either leaned into pastel palettes, soft pinks, mint greens, baby blues, peachy tones, but paired with wooden cabinets, wallpapers, and dramatic lighting. Or what I associate 80s bathrooms with, which is bold contrasts. I often think of harsh black and white with lots of shiny gold accents and oversized mirrors. It was slightly theatrical and very much about showing off. Well, maybe it wasn't about showing off, but that's definitely how the bathrooms came across. Then the 90s got interesting. Why? Because anything went, and I mean anything. I think you'll all wholeheartedly agree with me when I say that themed bathrooms were everywhere. Underwater themes, faux Mediterranean moments, tropical escapes, wallpaper in bathrooms. Yeah, absolutely. Borders running around the tiles like a decorative belt. Duh. There were also lots of frilled, ruffled accents, checkerboard tiling, platformed bathtubs with weird steps, patterns on patterns, textures on textures. It was chaotic and experimental. But here's the thing, that level of anything goes design doesn't age well, so what happened next was kind of inevitable. When Y2K rolled around, everyone caught the millennium bug. No, not that bug. The bug I'm referring to is the style bug. As we moved forward to the millennium, there was such a shift in style. As fashion, product design, and just design in general really, headed towards a more futuristic look. In the early 2000s, we dreamed of a future where art and technology were seamlessly intertwined, and whilst some home designs and marketing campaigns went all in with the future-forward style, It was a bit polarizing for the general public, particularly those coming from houses built on pattern and fabric overload. So the style that followed kind of became the middle ground of the futuristic designs and the already crazy, bright, vibrant designs that preceded it. It was the middle ground, which is why we often think of early 2000s designs feeling more minimalistic and clean-lined. So because of this, when the early 2000s rolled in, everyone collectively said, right, let's calm things down a bit. Enter the spa bathroom, which was a complete rejection of the visual chaos the 90s had. Suddenly, everything needed to feel serene, minimal, and I would say hotel-like. Then came the 2010s, and this is where things became fully clinical. The all-white bathroom took over completely with white subway tiles, white walls, white sinks, frameless glass, chrome fittings, and the odd splash of light marble. And let's be honest, it wasn't just design influencing this, it was lifestyle. Influencers, celebrity homes, Instagram feeds filled with these pristine spaces were subconsciously enforcing the trend. And I think because of that, white bathrooms became synonymous with luxury. But now I think the tide is truly changing, and I think we've hit some kind of saturation point. I'm not saying that I hate white bathrooms at all. I'm just saying that I think we're going to see a decline in their popularity. Because what once felt calm and luxurious now kind of feels cold. And I think people are shifting towards warmer, more patterned, individual designs because they want spaces to feel lived in and also reflective of their own taste. Now, we're not necessarily going back to full 70s chaos. I mean, feel free. But we definitely are borrowing from the past. And I think there's a growing desire for bathrooms to feel a little nostalgic and a little imperfect. As a side note, if you're enjoying the video so far, please leave a like and hype the video. We really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see videos just like this. Now I'm going to go into the trends one by one that I think we'll be seeing a lot more of. In terms of upgrading or simply modernizing the literal white marble bathroom, I think it's going to be warmed up a little bit to give it some dimension. By that I mean wooden cabinets, cream chevron tiles, not white but cream, and brass accents. We're seeing a huge shift towards wood vanity spaces in richer tones, walnut, oak, even slightly reddish woods, paired with creamy off-white tiles that have a bit more movement and texture. And then of course we have the accessories, but not the cold blue-toned chrome we've been so used to the past decade. No. We're warming things up with brass and soft gold finishes that actually complement the rest of the space rather than fighting it. The overall effect is still clean, but I think it's been a bit more elevated. So this is going to replace what was once ultra popular. Another shift that's happening, and this one's quite interesting, is how we're treating storage. For the longest time, the goal was to hide absolutely everything. Skincare, hidden. Shampoo, decanted into identical bottles that were label free. The whole point was to create that clean, uninterrupted showroom look. But now I think we're loosening that grip a little. Because instead of this hyper minimal, nothing on the counter approach, we're starting to see a bit more life on display, quite frankly. And I think my next trend, I guess, is to just display clutter proudly. Bathroom caddies are having a moment again, styled, intentional, almost like a little vignette of your products. They're like tiny little vignettes that actually make sense in a space, adding both texture and personality without sacrificing usability. Or even styling open shelving to display knickknacks and bathroom accessories. I think that's also going to be really popular. And even beyond that, people are just leaving things on countertops. Nicely, of course. I mean, your serums, your perfumes, your products, all neatly displayed. It's almost becoming part of the design in a way. It's less about hiding and I guess more about curating, because at the end of the day, a bathroom that looks like it's actually being used is quite frankly more interesting. In terms of the actual interior architecture, one feature that I think is redefining the whole bathroom is the rise of floor-to-ceiling shower screens. These aren't your standard half-glass panels awkwardly cutting the room in two. They're seamless and architectural, often using fluted glass and thick metal framework. And taking this idea one step further, I don't know if you've seen this, but let me know, we're seeing the rise of conservatory shower rooms. Spaces that blur the line between indoors and outdoors, and they're apparently inspired by traditional orangeries. Think large paned windows, natural light flooding in, greenery creeping into the space, and showers that feel less like a utility and more like a spa experience. These spaces feel much more immersive and far more connected to how we actually want to feel in a bathroom. They're not really common in the UK, to be honest, just yet, and I have seen this kind of style more in the US, simply because you're used to kind of enclosed shower rooms, if that makes sense. Basically, in a way, it's the updated wet room, this time being fully enclosed. It's not about creating a perfectly sealed artificial environment anymore, it's about creating something interesting where you actually want to spend time. And I think this trend also adds a lot of visual intrigue to the bathroom, which is very different from the clean white look. The fourth trend I think we'll see, which I never thought we'd be talking about again, but here we are, is the under-sink curtain. Yes. The little fabric skirt that hides under your plumbing or covers whatever chaos you've got going on under there is coming back, and somehow it's chic. And a big part of that I think comes down to the whole cottagecore revival. This romanticised, slightly nostalgic view of countryside living that's made anything remotely cottagey feel instantly elevated. We're getting softness and a much more relaxed approach to bathroom design. And what makes the trend actually work now, rather than feeling like your granny's house, is how it's actually styled. Think linen, subtle stripes, small florals, muted tones, nothing overly fussy. It breaks up all those hard surfaces and introduces that slightly imperfect, lived-in quality that we're clearly craving. Because again, this directly goes against the clinical look. There's nothing sterile about a piece of gathered fabric underneath your sink. Another combination that's really starting to define this shift is modern tiling and flooring combined with old, vintage-style almost plumbing. On paper, it might not actually sound like it could work, but in reality, it's what gives the bathroom that layered, curated feel. Exhibit A. You'll have these clean contemporary tiles, maybe a sleek stone floor or neatly laid pattern, paired with something like a classic crosshead tap, an old-style shower head, or slightly more decorative pipework, and I think it's the contrast that makes the space feel considered rather than one note. Because the clinical bathroom was all about everything matching perfectly, either through the finish or colour matching all the way through. And while it looked cohesive, it also ended up feeling incredibly flat. The new approach breaks that up. The modern elements help keep the space feeling fresh and functional, whilst the older elements bring in that much needed character and a touch of nostalgia. I often think that the finishing touch to a bathroom are the mirrors, and I think that rectangular mirrors have had a very long run. And whilst they're practical, we're moving on. Oval and circular mirrors are taking over, and honestly, it's about time we added some softness to the bathroom. After years of these harsh edges, these softer silhouettes are bringing a much needed sense of ease to a bathroom. And actually in feng shui, oval and circular mirrors are preferred for promoting flowing, harmonious qi. I think that curved mirrors instantly make the space feel more relaxed and a bit more expensive too. They break up all of those rigid lines from tiles, sinks and flooring and add just enough visual contrast to make the whole room feel more dynamic. Wave-shaped mirrors and even curved mid-century style mirrors are also forming the base of the new modern-day bathroom. This is probably my favourite trend actually, because I think it creates balance and softens up the bathroom, and if it means retiring your rectangular mirror, I think we'll cope just fine. But what do you think? Let me know down below. Please leave a like and hype the video if you enjoyed it. I really appreciate that, and it does help to grow the channel. And if you need help fulfilling your own design dreams, I've left our website in the description. I hope you've enjoyed diving into these 2026 bathroom trends and maybe even got a bit of inspiration to add some character, warmth, or personality into your own space. But that's it for today's video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!